What's up, everybody? Bethesda, Maryland is a great place to live with a lot of really interesting people and some amazing opportunities. But if you're thinking about moving here, it's not only good to know how great it is, but I think you also want to know the negative things about living in Bethesda. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to convince you to stay away from Bethesda, but to be fair, it may not be for everyone. And if I were moving to a new place, I would want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you appreciate this type of candor, then do me a favor, hit that like button. I know it's a little cheesy, but it does help me out, so thank you for doing that. Now let's get to my top reasons why you may not want to move to Bethesda. Let's dive right in. Okay, my first reason is that it's really expensive. If you watch my videos, you already know that. You know Bethesda's expensive. But did you know that for $1 million, you may not even get a garage or a backyard? In fact, take a look at this house. It just sold in Bethesda for $1,030,000. It has around 1,200 square feet and a super small lot. No garage, no driveway, and barely a backyard. But it's in an excellent location in Bethesda, and it actually was listed for $925,000 and sold for over $100,000 more to $1,030,000. Yes, even in today's market with these super high interest rates. Now, you can always go about 15 minutes north to Rockville where you will get more for your money, so just keep that in mind. And as far as taxes are concerned, Bethesda is located in Montgomery County, and the tax rate tends to be higher than the other counties. Not all of them, there's about 10 of them that are the same as Montgomery County, but it does tend to be higher. Obviously, this depends on how much money you make, but in general, the income tax rate will be higher. And one last thing, the property taxes are going up in Bethesda as of 2024. They're going up in all Montgomery County. There's nothing we can do about that. It's already passed, but just something you should know. So while we're on the subject of money, I mean, this is November of 2023 and inflation is ridiculously high. There's something I think you should know, and I tell all my clients this. You will pay more for everything if you live in Bethesda. You will pay more for contractors, for people to come do your landscaping, for gas, for food. Everything seems to be more expensive in Bethesda. So for example, gas today in Bethesda was about $3.80 a gallon for regular gas. I actually saw one Exxon that had regular gas at $4.80 a gallon in Bethesda. Drive 15 or 20 minutes to Rockville or Silver Spring, and you can find gas for $3.20 a gallon. That cost adds up. So if you're thinking of moving here and you want to save some money, it may be worth the drive. So another thing I think you really need to know is that Bethesda is very crowded. It just is. So if you're not into crowds and you want a lot of space, Bethesda may not be the place for you. It just has a lot to offer between all the shops and the restaurants, the hospitals, NIH, Metro. It's very, very sought after and therefore very congested and very crowded. So if you are looking for a bigger space and bigger lots and you don't want to pay millions and millions of dollars, you may want to look a little further north or east. There's just not a lot of space to build on in Bethesda. One of the new construction developments in Bethesda called Amelin, I actually did another video on that if you want to check it out. The houses are beautiful. They're just under $2 million, but the lots are still very small. Okay, my next thing, I actually have never spoken about this in my other videos, but if you are going to move here, I think it's worth knowing so you can kind of see what you're in for. In Bethesda, Maryland, there are a lot of country clubs, and they're really, really expensive. They're also really nice, but they're very expensive. There's about 6 in Bethesda. You've got Congressional Country Club, Bethesda Country Club, Kenwood Country Club, Burning Tree Country Club, Chevy Chase Country Club, and Columbia Country Club, and there may be some more. Now I know 2 of those are in Chevy Chase, Maryland, but that's right next to Bethesda, so they attract the same people. These clubs are great for golf and tennis and swimming and socializing, but they are super expensive and they're very hard to get into. You have to have somebody invite you to join, sponsor you, and you have to go through a whole interview process before you can join. And then when you can join, if you are accepted, the initiation fee, now I don't have exact dollars, and they're all different, but it's somewhere between $100,000 to $300,000 just for that fee. And then on top of that, you have your monthly fees every month, which can run anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 a month. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of community pools and neighborhood pools and tennis, and they're super cute. You don't have to join a country club, but they are part of the culture here in Bethesda, so it's something that I would want to know if I was moving to a new place, so you can be prepared. If you want to do that, make sure you check them out and start to get, the feel for how to join. And if you don't, that's fine, but you're gonna hear about them when you're here, so I wanted to let you know. So while we're on the subject of pools and tennis courts and golf, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that the summers here in Bethesda, they're not great. They're very hot, they're very humid, they're very buggy, and for about 6 weeks out of the summer, you're not gonna wanna be here, unless of course you like that stuff, which obviously I don't. So just know if you're moving here, the rest of the year is fantastic. Oh my gosh, our falls like right now, they're amazing. All the leaves are changing colors, it's brisk out, it's perfect. Winters aren't so bad, they're actually getting warmer year after year. And the spring is fabulous. You get the cherry blossoms, it's amazing. But the summers, they're not good. They're really not good. So for this next one, I think more people have thanked me for telling them this than anything else I've said, because I do mention it in a lot of my videos, because it's really important that you know. Here in Bethesda, we have a lot of traffic cameras and speed cameras. There's cameras for everything, and they're all over the place. There's speed cameras, there's traffic cameras, there's red light cameras, I think like if you wave to someone, there's a camera. They are for cell phones, there's cameras for those too. They're everywhere. So just be aware. The good thing is that I tend to use Waze even when I'm going, to someplace I know where I'm going, because it will alert you, because we all use Waze and tell each other where the cameras are. It's not foolproof, it's not 100%, but it's helpful. Just be aware there's lots of cameras. And while we're talking about traffic cameras, you gotta talk about traffic. There's a lot of people in a small space. You're gonna have a lot of traffic, and it can be really bad. And the road rage here, it's no joke. We do have a lot of parking garages. You just have to find them, and they tend to be expensive, but parking's not good either. Sorry, I'm really painting a great picture of Bethesda, aren't I? It is a really nice place to live, but these things are all true. And when you do find a parking space on the street, make sure you put enough money in and keep track of it, because there are also parking cops everywhere. It's actually quite impressive. They really watch those meters. And if you are like a minute late, you're gonna get a ticket. So just be aware of that. Now, the good news is Bethesda does have several metro stops. You've got Bethesda Metro, you've got the NIH Medical Center, you've got Grosvenor. Unlike other places like Potomac or Kensington, Bethesda does have metro stops. So you can avoid these traffic parking situations if you choose to. So another thing you should know about Bethesda and the people that live here is that it can be very competitive. Now, there's a lot of great job opportunities right here in Bethesda. You've got Suburban Hospital, the Marriott headquarters, the NIH, the National Institute of Health, Walter Reed Medical Center, and then all that retail. So it's a great place for a lot of job opportunities. You also have access to all the DC jobs because Bethesda does border DC. So, good news is a lot of job opportunities. Bad news is it's very, very competitive. So next up is something you may not have thought of because Bethesda is pretty urban. There is a more suburban side to it, but it's pretty urban and it's right next to DC. So you may not be thinking, there's a lot of deer on the road. But guess what? There is. There's so many deer. They're gonna be in your backyard, in your front yard. They're gonna cross the street when you're driving. So just be on the lookout because it can be really dangerous, especially at night. And with new car drivers, really dangerous. So just know that we have a very bad deer problem here in Maryland, and it exists in Montgomery County. Also, with these deer come ticks, and with these ticks come Lyme disease. So just protect yourself. Just know that it is Maryland, but we have deer, they have ticks, and they're everywhere. Literally right outside my window, there are deer. But I think that about sums up my top reasons about why you may not want to move to Bethesda, Maryland. If you can handle them, Bethesda is a great place to live. I absolutely love it. There's a lot of opportunities. You're right next to DC. You get all these great seasons, except for the summers. and it really is a fabulous place to live. If you are thinking about moving to Bethesda or any place in Montgomery County or DC or Northern Virginia and you would like our help, just send us an email. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll get you started. If you want to know more about Bethesda or maybe its neighbors, Potomac or Chevy Chase, check out some of these next videos. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!